Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learnify English. I am Emily, your host for today. If you are new here, let me tell you that we upload new English learning videos every day on this channel to help you improve your English faster. In today's episode, you will not only improve your English listening skills, but also your English speaking and vocabulary skills. In today's lesson, we're diving into an advanced topic that will take your fluency to the next level. Essential phrasal verbs for daily conversations. We will go through real-life examples, natural dialogues, and practice exercises that will help you understand how phrasal verbs are really used and how you can add them to your own daily speaking. Whether you're chatting with friends, making plans, solving problems, or sharing experiences, phrasal verbs are the secret to sounding natural and fluent in English. By the end of this video, you'll not only recognize these expressions, but also use them confidently in your own conversations. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon if you want more helpful English learning episodes like this. So, relax, listen carefully, and get ready to build your English fluency step by step with me. Let's get started. Phrasal verbs are one of the most powerful tools in English communication. They might look simple, but they carry so much meaning that goes beyond just the dictionary definition. For many learners, phrasal verbs feel like a puzzle because a small word like up, out, or off can completely change the meaning of a verb. But once you get used to them, they become the secret to sounding natural and fluent in everyday conversations. Let's start slowly. Imagine you wake up in the morning. The verb here is wake. But in real English conversations, people don't just say, I wake at 7. They say, I wake up at 7. That little word up makes it natural and complete. Later, you might say, I got up at 7 because I was tired. Again, the phrasal verb get up is much more natural than simply get. Now, let's practice together. I'll say a sentence and then I'll pause so you can repeat after me. I wake up early on weekdays. Good. I got up late on Sunday. Excellent. Can you hear how natural that sounds? Let's take another daily situation. You go into the kitchen and you want to prepare something to eat. Instead of only saying, I prepared breakfast, in everyday English, people might say, I fixed up some breakfast, or I whipped up some eggs. The phrasal verbs fix up and whip up both mean to prepare quickly. Try repeating this sentence after me. I whipped up some pancakes this morning. Great job. Now try. I fixed up a sandwich before leaving the house. Wonderful. As you can see, these small phrases add color, style, and fluency to your speech. And here's a useful tip. Don't try to memorize phrasal verbs as long, boring lists. Instead, learn them in real-life situations, like we're practicing here. That way, you remember them naturally, and you can use them in the right context. Now, let's look at how phrasal verbs appear when you're talking about your plans. Imagine your friend calls you and asks if you want to meet later. You could say, yes, let's meet, but more naturally, you'll say, let's meet up after work. That phrasal verb, meet up, gives a friendly and casual tone. Or if you cannot come, you might say, I'll have to call it off. Call off means to cancel. Try repeating this. We decided to call off the meeting, and now let's meet up this weekend. Excellent. Let's practice one more. Sometimes when plans are uncertain, you can say, let's figure out a time later. That phrasal verb, figure out, means to find a solution. Try this with me. We need to figure out what to eat tonight. Good. Let's figure out the problem together. Great. Everyday life is filled with these small but powerful expressions. And the more you notice them, the more confident you'll become in using them. In this masterclass, we'll explore hundreds of examples together, and I'll give you plenty of practice. So these phrases start to feel natural when you speak. When we think about daily life, a big part of it is work or study, and phrasal verbs appear everywhere in those settings. If you want to sound fluent at school, at the office, or even in casual teamwork, mastering these expressions will help you communicate more clearly and naturally. Imagine you're at work and your manager gives you a new project. You could say, I'll start it. But in natural English, you'll often hear, I'll take it on. The phrasal verb take on means to accept a task or responsibility. Repeat after me, I'll take on this new project. Good, now try. She took on too many responsibilities. Excellent. Another common one is hand in. When you finish your homework or a report, you don't just say, I gave my report. You say, I handed in my report. This is natural spoken English. Let's practice. I handed in my essay yesterday. Great. Please hand in your assignments by Monday. Well done. Now, think about meetings. You might need to bring up a topic. This means to mention or introduce it. You could say, I want to bring up an idea during the meeting. Or, he brought up an interesting point. Repeat with me. Can I bring up a question? Good. She brought up the problem during class. Perfect. Sometimes at work or in study groups, you need to go over me, Ariel. That means to review something. Try this sentence. Let's go over the details one more time. Now repeat. We went over the chapter before the test. Excellent. Here's another point out. It means to highlight or show something important. Example, she pointed out the mistake in my notes. And another, I'd like to point out a small detail. Great job. Now, let's connect these phrasal verbs into a small practice dialogue. Imagine I'm your colleague and I'll speak both parts slowly. Hi, can we go over the report today? Yes, but I still need to finish it before I hand it in. Okay, maybe tomorrow we can bring up the issues we found. Sure, I'll take on the corrections and point out the important changes. Did you hear how natural that sounded? When you weave phrasal verbs into a conversation, it flows more smoothly and feels closer to native English. Let's practice some for problem solving. One very useful phrasal verb is sort out. It means to organize or fix something. Example, I need to sort out my notes before the exam. Try it with me. She sorted out the problem quickly. Good. Another is work out. It can mean to solve a problem or calculate something. We worked out the solution together, or I can't work out how this machine works. Excellent practice. Now, picture a university setting. You might need to look into a subject. That means to investigate or study it carefully. I'll look into this topic for my research. Or the professor is looking into new teaching methods. Repeat that. Perfect. And here's one more for today's study and work practice. Carry out. This means to perform or complete a task. For example, the scientists carried out an experiment, or we need to carry out the plan step by step. Great job. So now you see phrasal verbs are not just for casual conversations with friends. They are a the language of school, of work, and of professional life. If you practice them in context, you'll find they naturally slip into your own speaking when you need them. Now, let's step into another part of daily life, your social world, talking with friends, making plans, and enjoying time together. In these situations, phrasal verbs make your English sound relaxed and natural. Think about when you invite friends to your home. Instead of only saying, "Come to my house," people often say, "Come over." For example, "Why don't you come over this evening?" Or "They came over last night for dinner." Try repeating "come over after work." Good. Now repeat. "My friends came over to watch a movie." Excellent. Sometimes you want to relax with your friends. In everyday English, you don't just say "spend time." You say "hang out." Example, we usually hang out at the cafe after school. Or, do you want to hang out this weekend? Practice with me. I'm hanging out with my best friend tonight. Great. They like to hang out in the park. Perfect. Now, let's add another catch up. This means to talk with someone after not seeing them for a while. Imagine you meet an old friend. You might say, "It's so good to catch up with you." Or, "We caught up over lunch yesterday." Repeat this with me. "Let's catch up soon." Very good. We caught up on everything that happened last year. Excellent practice. Sometimes plans change suddenly. You may have to drop by. That means to visit for a short time without planning much. "I'll drop by your office later." Or she dropped by to say hello. Try it now. "Can I drop by tomorrow?" Good. "He dropped by my place last night." Perfect. Another one you'll hear a lot is show up. This means to arrive. For example, he didn't show up to the party, or she showed up late for the meeting. Practice with me. I'll show up on time. I promise. Very good. They showed up unexpectedly. Excellent. Now, imagine you're chatting about your day. You might say, "I ran into an old friend at the store." The phrasal verb run into means to meet by chance. Try this sentence. "I ran into my teacher yesterday." and another, she ran into her cousin downtown. Wonderful practice. Here's another social favorite, pick up. When someone comes to collect you, they don't just collect you, they pick you up. Can you pick me up at the station? Or he picked up his sister from the airport. Repeat with me. I'll pick you up after class. Good. She picked me up in her car. Perfect. Now let's practice with a small conversation. Hey, do you want to hang out this weekend? Sure. Maybe I can drop by your place on Saturday. Great. We can catch up and maybe invite some friends to come over. Perfect. I'll show up around 4:00 p.m. and we'll figure out what to do. Did you notice how natural that sounded? These phrasal verbs are the small building blocks of real everyday English, and when you practice them like this, they become part of your own conversations. Let's add a few more useful ones. Get along. This means to have a good relationship with someone. I get along well with my neighbors, or they don't get along anymore. Practice. Do you get along with your classmates? Very good. We get along really well. Excellent. And finally, for this section, fall out. This is the opposite of get along. It means to argue and stop being friendly. For example, they fell out over money. Or, I don't want to fall out with my best friend. Repeat with me. We fell out last week, but we made up later. Great. These phrasal verbs bring life to your social conversations. They make your speech warm, casual, and real. Daily routines at home are full of phrasal verbs. In fact, if you listen to native speakers describing their day, you'll hear them everywhere. Let's go step by step through a typical day and practice together. You wake up in the morning. We already practiced wake up and get up. But after that, maybe your alarm is still ringing. What do? You turn off the alarm, or sometimes you switch off the alarm. Try repeating, I turned off my alarm at 7. Good. He switched off his phone before bed. Excellent. Next, you might wash up in British English. Wash up means to wash your hands and face in the morning. In American English, wash up often means to wash the dishes. Both are useful. Repeat after me. I washed up before breakfast. Great. She washed up the dishes after dinner. Perfect. Now, imagine your clothes. You may need to put on your clothes. That's a very common phrasal verb. Example, I put on my jacket because it was cold. Or, she put on her shoes quickly. Try it. I'm putting on my favorite shirt. Well done. And when the day is over, you take off your clothes. He took off his coat when he got home. Or, I can't wait to take off my shoes. Repeat with me. Please take off your jacket. Great practice. Breakfast time is another chance. You might pour out some juice. She poured out a glass of milk. Or he poured out tea for everyone. You may also cut up fruit. I cut up an apple for my snack. Or she cut up the vegetables for the salad. Repeat those with me. Excellent. After eating, you usually have to clean up. This is a very common phrasal verb for home life. Example, let's clean up the kitchen. Or they cleaned up after the party. Try this. I need to clean up my room. Good. Sometimes you also need to tidy up. That means to make things neat. I tidied up the living room before guests arrived. Or, can you tidy up your desk? Practice that. We tidied up the house together. Great. Now, let's imagine the afternoon. Maybe you want to write down some notes or a shopping list. I wrote down the phone number quickly, or she always writes down her ideas. Repeat with me. Write down your homework in the notebook. Perfect. When you have free time, you might try out a new recipe. I tried out a new pasta dish last night. Or she loves trying out new restaurants. Good practice. Evening comes and maybe you need to set up the table for dinner. He set up the table with plates and glasses. Or they set up the chairs before the party. Repeat after me. I set up my room for studying. Very good. After dinner, you may put away the dishes. She put away the clean plates. Or he put away his clothes in the closet. Try it now. I put away my books after class. Excellent. Before bed, many people wind down. This phrasal verb means to relax slowly after a busy day. I like to wind down by reading a book, or she wound down with some music. Repeat with me. I need time to wind down in the evening. Perfect. Finally, when you are ready, you turn in for the night. That means to go to bed. Example, I turned in early last night. Or he usually turns in around midnight. Try repeating, I think I'll turn in now. Wonderful practice. Did you notice how almost every step of your home routine can be described with a phrasal verb? By practicing them in the order of your daily life, you can connect them to real actions, and this makes them much easier to remember and use naturally. Travel is another part of life where phrasal verbs appear constantly. Whether you're going to school, commuting to work, or traveling to another country, you'll hear and use these expressions all the time. Let's start with transportation. You usually need to get on and get off buses, trains, or planes. For example, I got on the bus at 8 a.m. Or she got off the train at the wrong stop. Try repeating. I get on the bus every morning. Good. We got off at the central station. Excellent. When you use a car, you might hop in quickly. That's a casual way to say enter. He hopped in the car and drove away. Or, hop in and I'll give you a ride. Repeat that. I hopped in the taxi downtown. Perfect. If you are at the airport, you often need to check in. That means register before a flight. We checked in 2 hours before departure. Or, I need to check in my luggage. Try this. They checked in at the hotel late at night. Very good. After you arrive at the hotel, you might also check out when you leave. Example, we checked out at noon. Or she checked out after staying for 3 nights. Practice. Don't forget to check out in the morning. Excellent. Now, let's imagine you're in a busy city. Sometimes you need to set off on a journey. That means to begin, we set off early to avoid traffic. Or they set off on a long trip across the country. Repeat, I want to set off before sunrise. Great. You might also head out. It's very casual and means to leave home. I'm heading out now. See you later. Or we headed out for the concert at 6. Try it. I'm heading out to the store. Wonderful. Another useful one is get around. This means to move around in a place. It's easy to get around the city by metro, or she got around Paris by bike. Repeat after me. How do you usually get around your town? Excellent. Now imagine you're traveling with friends. You might pick up someone from the station. I'll pick you up at the airport at 5. Or he picked up his cousin from the bus stop. Try it. Can you pick me up tomorrow? Very good. Sometimes plans change. You may have to hold up. That means to delay. The traffic held us up for an hour. Or sorry, I was held up at work. Repeat this. The rain held up the game. Excellent. Let's add another one. Run out of. It means to have no more of something very useful when traveling. We ran out of gas on the highway. Or she ran out of money during her trip. Try this. I ran out of time at the airport. Good. Now let's practice with a short dialogue full of travel phrasal verbs. Are you ready to head out? Yes, but the traffic might hold us up. Don't worry, we'll set off early and pick up Anna on the way. Good idea. Let's check in online so we don't run into problems later. See how natural that conversation sounds. When you use phrasal verbs in travel situations, it makes your English practical and real. Finally, here are 2 more common ones. Drop off and pick up. If someone gives you a ride, they can drop you off at a place. Example, can you drop me off at the station? Or he dropped off the kids at school. Repeat with me. She dropped me off near the office. Excellent. And sometimes flights can be put off. That means delayed or postponed. The flight was put off due to bad weather. Or they put off their trip until next year. Try this. We had to put off the meeting. Perfect. These are the phrases that make travel conversations smooth and realistic. Practice them until they flow out naturally, and you'll sound much more fluent when you travel or simply move around your own city. One of the most important parts of fluency is communication. And phrasal verbs are everywhere when we talk, explain, or share feelings. Let's explore some of the most common ones you can start using right away. Imagine you're explaining something to a friend. You might need to point out a detail. We practiced this earlier, but let's repeat to make it natural. She pointed out the mistake in my homework. Or, I'd like to point out something important. Repeat with me. Can I point out a problem? Good. Another common one is bring up. That means to introduce a topic. He brought up the issue during the discussion, or I don't want to bring up old problems. Try it. She brought up an interesting idea. Excellent. Now think about when you're trying to make something clear. You can spell out the details. Let me spell out the instructing ions for you. Or the teacher spelled out the rules. Repeat. Can you spell out what you mean? Perfect. When you want to check something, you can find out. Example, I found out the answer yesterday, or she found out the truth about the story. Practice with me. We need to find out more information. Very good. If you need to discover or understand slowly, you can I figured out how to solve the problem. Or she's still figuring out what to do next. Try it. Can you figure out the answer? Excellent. Now, let's shift to phrasal verbs for feelings. When something disappoints you, you might say, I'm feeling down. He's been feeling down lately because of work. Repeat. I feel down when I'm lonely. Good. But when you want to feel happier, you can cheer up. Come on, cheer up. It's not so bad. Or the movie cheered me up. Try this. She always cheers me up when I'm sad. Wonderful. Sometimes people open up. That means they start sharing their true feelings. He opened up about his problems. Or she doesn't open up easily. Repeat. I want to open up to my friends. Excellent practice. On the other hand, you might bottle up emotions. That means to hide them inside. He bottled up his anger for weeks. Or don't bottle up your feelings. Talk about them. Try it. She bottled up her emotions for too long. Good. Another useful one is calm down. Please calm down. Everything will be fine. Or he calmed down after a while. Repeat with me. I need to calm down before the test. Perfect. Sometimes we also say blow up. This means to suddenly get very angry. She blew up when she heard the news. Or he blew up at his friend. Try it now. Don't blow up over small things. Great. Now, let's practice with a short dialogue full of these communication and feeling phrasal verbs. Can I bring up something that's been bothering me? Of course. Open up and tell me. Well, I found out that the project was delayed and it really got me down. Don't bottle up your feelings. Just point out what's wrong and we'll figure it out together. Thanks. That really cheers me up. Do you see how these small expressions create natural, emotional English? They make conversations feel more human and more fluent. And here are two more that are often used. Break down. It can mean to lose emotional control. She broke down in tears after the news. Or he broke down when he was talking about his childhood. Repeat with me. I don't want to break down in front of everyone. Very good. And the opposite? Light up. This means to suddenly look very happy. Her face lit up when she saw the present. Or he lit up when he heard the good news. Practice. My eyes lit up when I saw the cake. Excellent. By practicing these phrasal verbs in the context of communication and feelings, you'll become more natural, expressive, and confident in your conversations. Technology is such a big part of our daily lives now. Phones, computers, social media, and online communication. And of course, phrasal verbs are everywhere in these conversations too. Let's begin with something you probably do every day. log in, and log out. These are essential when using a computer or an app. For example, I logged into my account this morning. Or don't forget to log out after using the computer. Repeat with me. She logged in to check her email. Good. He logged out and closed the laptop. Excellent. Another common one is setup. You often hear this when installing or preparing technology. I set up my new phone yesterday. Or they set up the Wi-Fi connection at home. Try it. Can you set up the printer for me? Perfect. Sometimes things don't work and you need to shut down a device. I shut down my computer before leaving, or the system shut down unexpected practice. Please shut down the laptop after class. Very good. And when something stops working, you might hear break down. We use this for emotions before, but it also applies to machines. My car broke down on the way to work, or the washing machine broke down last night. Repeat after me. The elevator broke down again. Excellent. Now, think about phones. You often pick up when someone calls. She picked up the phone quickly, or I tried calling, but he didn't pick up. Repeat with me. Can you pick up when I call? Great. Sometimes the call doesn't last because it gets cut off. We were cut off during the conversation, or the call was cut off due to bad signal. Try it. I hate when my calls get cut off. Perfect. Here's another one. Hang up. That means to end a phone call. She hung up suddenly. Or don't hang up. I still need to talk to you. Repeat. I hung up after the call ended. Good. Now, let's think about the internet. When you want to discover information, you look up something. I looked up the word in the dictionary, or he looked up directions on his phone. Repeat after me. Look up the answer online. Excellent. And when you want to stay updated, you might scroll through social media. I scrolled through my Instagram feed. Or she scrolled through the news headlines. Try it. I was scrolling through my messages last night. Good. Sometimes people sign up for new apps or websites. I signed up for an online course, or he signed up to join the program. Repeat this. We signed up for English classes together. Perfect. Now, let's practice with a short dialogue full of these modern phrasal verbs. Did you log in to the new app? Yes. I signed up last week and set it up on my phone. Oh, good. I tried calling you, but the line was cut off. Sorry, I didn't pick up. I was scrolling through my emails. No worries. Just shut down the app, and log out after you finish. Do you notice how natural this feels? This is exactly how people talk in real life when they deal with technology. Here are two more very useful ones. Back up. This means to make a copy of your files. I always back up my photos. Or she backed up her documents on a hard drive. Repeat, don't forget to back up your data. Excellent. And run out. We saw it in travel, but here it works with technology too. My phone ran out of battery, or we ran out of storage space on the computer. Try it. The printer ran out of paper. Perfect. These phrasal verbs are not only useful, they're necessary for daily life in our modern world. The more you practice them, the more fluent and confident you'll sound when talking about technology and media. Relationships are a huge part of our lives, and phrasal verbs are deeply connected to how we describe them. Whether it's family, friendship, or romance, these expressions will help you sound much more fluent and natural when talking about people you care about. Let's start with get along. We touched on it before, but it's so important. I get along well with my coworkers, or she doesn't get along with her brother. Try this with me. Do you get along with your neighbors? Good. We get along very well as a team. Excellent. Now, the opposite. Fall out. That means to argue and damage a relationship. They fell out over money, or I don't want to fall out with my best friend. Repeat. We fell out last week but made up later. Perfect. And yes, make up is the next phrasal verb. It means to forgive and become friends again. They made up after the fight, or it's time to make up and move on. Try this. We made up after arguing. Great. Another useful one is break up. This is usually for romantic relationships. They broke up after 3 years together, or she broke up with her boyfriend last month. Repeat after me. They broke up because of distance. Excellent. Sometimes couples don't break up completely. They might make up after disagreements or even get back together. They got back together after a year apart. Or do you think they'll get back together? Try it. We got back together after some time apart. Wonderful. Friendships also include moments of grow apart. This means slowly losing connection. We grew apart after high school, or they grew apart because of work and distance and practice. I don't want us to grow apart. Very good. Now, let's shift to family. Parents often bring up children. She was brought up in a small town, or they brought up their kids with strong values. Repeat. I was brought up to respect others. Perfect. And sometimes families look after each other. That means to take care of someone. I looked after my little brother yesterday. Or she looks after her grandmother on weekends. Try it. Who looks after the baby? Excellent. Here's another family-related one. Take after. This means to resemble or be similar to a family member. She takes after her mother in looks and personality, or he takes after his father's sense of humor. Repeat with me. I take after my uncle in many ways. Good. Now, let's imagine friendships again. Sometimes friends stick up for each other. That means defend or support someone. He always sticks up for his classmates. Or she stuck up for her sister in the argument. Try this. Would you stick up for me? Perfect. And sometimes you need to stand by someone. That means to remain loyal or supportive. She stood by her best friend during hard times, or he always stands by his teammates. Repeat after me. I'll stand by you no matter what. Excellent. Let's put these into a mini dialogue. Did you fall out with Anna? Yes. but we made up later. She always stands by me, so I don't want to loat. It's her friendship. That's good. True friends stick up for each other and don't grow apart easily. See how natural that sounds? Phrasal verbs bring real emotion and connection into your conversations. And here are two more for relationships. Open up to share personal feelings. He opened up about his struggles. Or she never opens up easily. Repeat. I want to open up to my best friend. Wonderful. And drift apart. Similar to grow apart. It means slowly lose closeness. They drifted apart after college. Or we didn't fight. We just drifted apart. Try it. I don't want us to drift apart. Perfect. By practicing these phrasal verbs for relationships, you'll be able to express emotions, loyalty, problems, and love in a way that sounds natural, real, and deeply fluent. Life is full of challenges, sometimes small, sometimes big. And in English, phrasal verbs are often used to describe how we deal with those challenges. Mastering these will help you express yourself more clearly and naturally in difficult situations. One of the most common is deal with. It means to manage or handle a situation. For example, I had to deal with a lot of emails today. Or, she's good at dealing with stress. Repeat with me. We need to deal with this problem quickly. Excellent. Another important one is sort out. This means to organize or solve something. I need to sort out my notes before the exam. Or, they sorted out the mistake in the report. Try it. Can you sort out this mess? Very good. Sometimes we say work out. We saw this before, but let's review. We worked out a solution together. Or I can't work out how to use this program. Repeat. He worked out the problem easily. Perfect. Now imagine you face an obstacle. You might have to get over it. She got over her fear of speaking English. Or it took him months to G over the accident. Try it. I want to get over my nervousness. Wonderful. Sometimes you need to figure out the cause of a problem. We figured out why the machine stopped, or she figured out the answer quickly. Repeat after me. Can you figure out a better way? Excellent. Now, think about success. When you achieve something, you might carry out a plan. The team carried out the experiment successfully, or he carried out his duties perfectly. Practice. They carried out the project on time. Very good. Or you might pull off something difficult. That means to succeed in doing something hard. She pulled off a great presentation, or they pulled off a big win against the stronger team. Try this. He pulled off the deal after months of work. Excellent. When we face difficulties, sometimes we fall behind. I fell behind in my studies last month, or she fell behind on her payments. Repeat with me. Don't fall behind in your work. Great. And when we recover, we can catch up. I need to catch up on my assignments. Or he caught up with the class after missing a week. Try it. Let's catch up on our work tomorrow. Perfect. Sometimes life tests us. You may give up, which means to quit. But I want you to remember, never give up on learning English. Example, she gave up after many failures. Or he never gives up no matter what. Repeat with me, I won't give up on my dreams, Sham. Excellent. Here's another powerful one. Carry on. That means to continue. She carried on studying despite the noise. Or he carried on with his work after the interruption. Try it now. We carried on even when it was difficult. Wonderful. Now, let's build a little practice dialogue around these phrasal verbs. I fell behind on my assignments. Don't give up. You can catch up if you work hard. Maybe we can figure out a new schedule to sort things out. Yes, let's carry on and pull off a good run. Essing that sounds. This is exactly how phrasal verbs can express motivation and problem solving. So, in daily conversations, and here are two more to finish this section. Hold on. That means to wait or stay strong. Hold on, I'll be right there. Or she held on through difficult times. Repeat with me, hold on, don't lose hope. Excellent, and keep up. That means to maintain progress. Keep up the good work. Or he runs fast. I can't keep up with him. Try this. Can you keep up with the lesson? Perfect. With these phrasal verbs, you can talk about your struggles, your progress, and your successes in English with more fluency and confidence. Shopping and handling money are parts of life we deal with almost every day. And once again, phrasal verbs play a big role in how native speakers talk about these situations. Let's go step by step and practice them together. One of the most useful is try on. You use this when checking clothes in a store. She tried on a red dress at the shop. Or, can I try on these shoes? Repeat with me. I want to try on this jacket. Good. He tried on a pair of jeans. Excellent. After shopping, you may decide to take back something you bought. This means to return it. I took back the shirt because it was too big. Or, she took back the shoes after finding a defect. Try it. Can I take back this item? Very good. Sometimes stores sell out of popular items. The concert tickets sold out in 1 hour, or the new phone sold out immediately. Practice with me. The jacket sold out quickly. Excellent. Another useful one is shop around. This means to compare prices in different places. I shopped around before buying a laptop. Or they are shopping around for the best deal. Repeat. You should shop around before making a decision. Perfect. Now, let's talk about nay. A common phrase is pay back. I'll pay back the money tomorrow. Or she paid back the loan quickly. Try this. Can you pay back what you borrowed? Good. If you're saving money, you can set aside some. I set aside money for my vacation. Or they set aside part of their salary for emergencies. Repeat with me. I'm setting aside money for a new car. Excellent. Sometimes, unfortunately, we run out of money. I ran out of cash at the store. Or, he ran out of money while traveling. Try it. We ran out of money before the end of the month. Perfect. Another very useful one is cut back on. It means to reduce spending. We need to cut back on eating out. 4. She cut back on her shopping to save money. Repeat. I'm cutting back on unnecessary expenses. Wonderful. Now, let's imagine a small practice dialogue. Did you buy the new jacket? No. I decided to shop around first. Good idea. Sometimes stores sell out quickly. Yes, I'll set aside some money and pay back my friend later if I borrow. Can you hear how natural those phrases sound together? That's how fluent conversations about money really flow. Let's practice a few more. Pick out. This means to choose. She picked out a beautiful dress for the wedding, or he picked out a book for his friend. Try it now. I picked out a gift for my mother. Excellent. And save up. This means to collect money for something big. I'm saving up for a new phone. Or they saved up for years to buy a house. Repeat with me. I saved up for my trip abroad. Very good. Finally, sometimes we pay off debt. He paid off his student loan. Or she paid off the credit card bill. Try it. I want to pay off my debts quickly. Perfect. These phrasal verbs make everyday conversations about shopping and money practical and real. With practice, you'll use them naturally in stores, markets, and even online shopping situations. Health and lifestyle are topics that affect all of us. Whether it's going to the doctor, exercising, or simply living a balanced life, phrasal verb BS are everywhere in these conversations. Let's practice some together. A very common one is workout. This means to exercise. I work out at the gym 3 times a week. Or, she works out every morning before work. Repeat after me. Do you work out regularly? Good. He worked out for an hour yesterday. Excellent. Sometimes you want to warm up before exercise. The players warmed up before the match, or she warmed up with some stretches. Try it. Let's warm up before running. Perfect. After exercise, you need to cool down. He cooled down after the workout, or it's important to cool down to avoid injury. Repeat with me. I cooled down after jogging. Very good. Now, let's think about diet. If you eat too much unhealthy food, you might need to cut down on it. I'm cutting down on sugar. Or they cut down on fast food last month. Try it. We should cut down on snacks. Excellent. Another useful one is give up. This means to stop doing something unhealthy. He gave up smoking 2 years ago. Or she wants to give up junk food. Repeat. I will never give up trying to live healthier. Perfect. Sometimes we come down with an illness. He came down with the flu last week, or she came down with a bad cold. Practice. I think I'm coming down with something good. When you're sick, you often fight off the illness. She fought off the infection quickly. or he is fighting off a bad cough. Repeat after me. I fought off a cold last month. Excellent. And when you recover, you get over it. He got over the flu in a few days, or she finally got over her injury. Try it. I'm getting over a cold right now. Wonderful. Now, let's add lifestyle activities. Sometimes you want to take up a new habit or hobby. I took up yoga last year. Or he has taken up painting recently. Repeat with me. She took up running in the mornings. Great. On the other hand, you may burn out if you work too hard without rest. He burned out after months of stress. Or don't burn yourself out studying all night. Try it. I don't want to burn out at my job. Excellent. Here's another one. Slow down. This means to reduce speed or stress, you need to slow down and rest. Or she slowed down after feeling tired. Repeat. I want to slow down and enjoy life. Perfect. Let's practice with a short dialogue. I've decided to take up swimming to get healthier. That's great. Just remember to warm up and cool down every time. Yes, I've also cut down on junk food. Excellent. Keep it up and you'll get over your bad habits quickly. See how phrasal verbs bring energy and clarity to these conversations about health and lifestyle? They make you sound more natural when talking about daily well-being. And here are two more to finish this section. Stay up. That means to remain awake. I stayed up late last night studying, or she stayed up to watch a movie. Repeat after me. I don't like staying up too late. Very good. And sleep in. The opposite to sleep longer than usual. I slept in on Sunday morning. Or he loves to sleep in during holidays. Try it. We slept in after the party. Excellent. These expressions about health, fitness, and lifestyle are not only practical, they help you connect with people about real everyday experiences. Our emotions guide so much of what we do. And in English, phrasal verbs give us simple but powerful ways to express them. When you master these, you'll not only speak more fluently, but also connect more deeply with others. Let's start with look forward to. This expresses excitement about something in the future. I'm looking forward to my vacation, or she looks forward to meeting you. Repeat after me. I look forward to learning new phrasal verb. Excellent. Now imagine you're feeling discouraged. Someone might tell you to hang in there. This phrasal verb means to stay strong during difficulties. Hang in there, things will get better. Or she hung in there through all the challenges. Try it. I'll hang in there no matter what. Good. Another motivating one is keep on. This means to continue doing something. She kept on practicing until she improved. Or he kept on working despite the noise. Repeat. We must keep on trying to succeed. Perfect. Now let's talk about self-growth. Sometimes you need to step up. That means to take more responsibility or show leadership. She stepped up when the team needed her, or it's time for him to step up and lead. Try this. I want to step up and improve my English. Excellent. Sometimes in life, you may back down. That means to retreat or give up in an argument. He never backs down from a challenge, or she backed down after realizing her mistake. Repeat with me. I won't back down from my goals. Very good. Now imagine personal growth. You might open up to new experiences. He opened up to new opportunities abroad, or she opened up after joining the group. Try it. I want to open up to new ideas. Excellent. And sometimes you need to break through. This means to overcome barriers and succeed. She broke through her fear of speaking in public, or they broke through the challenges and succeeded. Repeat after me. I want to break through my limits. Perfect. Another useful one is move on. This means to continue after something difficult. He moved on after the breakup, or she moved on to a better job. Try this. It's time to move on and grow stronger. Wonderful. Now, let's look at motivation. Sometimes we push on. That means to continue despite challenges. The team pushed on through the storm, or she pushed on until the project was complete. Repeat. I'll push on with my studies. Very good. And sometimes we lift up. This means to encourage or inspire. Her words lifted me up when I felt low. Or he always lifts up his friends. Practice. I want to lift up others with my words. Excellent. Now, let's try a short motivational dialogue. I'm feeling tired of studying English. Don't give up. Hang in there and keep on practicing. Maybe I need to step up and change my routine. Yes, if you push on, you'll break through and move on to a higher level. Can you hear how encouraging these phrasal verbs sound? They aren't just words. They're little pieces of motivation that can carry you through challenges. And here are two more inspiring ones. Rise up. It means to take action with courage. She rose up to face the challenge. Or they rose up and defended their rights. Repeat. I want to rise up and chase my dreams. Perfect. And reach out. That means to connect with others for help or support. She reached out to her teacher for advice. Or he reached out to his friend when he felt lonely. Try it. I want to reach out and make new connections. Wonderful. With these phrasal verbs, you can talk about emotions, motivation, and growth in a way that feels strong, positive, and deeply human. Free time is when we relax, recharge, and enjoy ourselves. And in English, phrasal verbs make our conversations about hobbies and entertainment sound much more fluent and natural. Let's practice some of the most common ones together. One useful phrase is chill out. It means to relax. I chilled out at home after work. Or she chilled out by listening to music. Repeat after me. I want to chill out this weekend. Good. We chilled out at the park. Excellent. Sometimes people like to hang out. We saw this before with friends, but it's perfect for hobbies too. They hang out at the coffee shop every evening. Or, I like hanging out with my cousins. Try it. Do you want to hang out later? Perfect. When you enjoy music, you may sing along. We sang along to our favorite songs, or the children sang along happily. Repeat with me. I love to sing along at concerts. Wonderful. Movies and shows often come up in conversation. You can tune into a program. Millions of people tuned in to watch the match. Or I tuned in to the evening news. Try it. Tune in to the next episode tonight. Very good. And sometimes you switch off or switch on the TV. She switched on the television at 8. Or don't forget to switch off the lights before bed. Repeat. I switched on the radio this morning. Excellent. Now think about reading. You might look through a magazine. He looked through the catalog for ideas. Or she looked through her notes before class. Practice with me. I looked through the book quickly. Good. When you want to start a new hobby, you often take up something. She took up painting during the summer, or he took up guitar lessons last year. Repeat. I want to take up photography. Perfect. And sometimes hobbies fade. You might give up an activity. He gave up playing football after the injury, or she gave up knitting because she was too busy. Try this. I don't want to give up writing. Excellent. Let's add sports. You might join in a game. He joined in the basketball match. Or she joined in the singing. Repeat after me. Can I join in the fun? Wonderful. Or you might take part in an activity. She took part in the marathon, or he took part in the competition. Try it. I want to take part in more events. Very good. Sometimes hobbies make you excited and you get into them. She got into yoga last year, or he's really getting into photography. Repeat. I got into painting as a hobby. Excellent. Now, let's put these into a short dialogue. What did you do over the weekend? I just chilled out at home and looked through some magazines. Nice. I took up painting recently and I'm really getting into it. That sounds fun. Maybe next time I can join in and hang out with you. Did you notice how natural that conversation sounds? Using phrasal verbs adds warmth and rhythm to simple topics like free time and hobbies. Here are 2 more to finish this section. Mess around. That means to play or do silly activities. The kids were messing around in the garden. Or we just messed around with guitars all afternoon. Repeat. I like to mess around with new recipes in the kitchen. Perfect. And catch up on. This means to spend time doing something you missed before. I need to catch up on my reading. Or she caught up on sleep during the weekend. Try it. I want to catch up on my favorite TV series. Excellent. These phrasal verbs for entertainment and hobbies make your conversations about free time much more colorful and fluent. Travel is one of the best ways to use English in real life. And when you talk about your trips and cultural experiences, phrasal verbs bring your stories to life. Let's practice them together. A very common one is set off. It means to begin a journey. We set off early in the morning to avoid traffic. Or They set off on a long road trip across the country. Repeat after me. We set off before sunrise. Excellent. During your trip, you might stop over in another city. We stopped over in Dubai on our way to Europe. Or she stopped over for 2 nights in Istanbul. Try this. We stopped over in a small town. Very good. Another useful one is head for that means to go toward a place. We headed for the mountains, or she headed for the airport. Repeat. They are heading for the coast. Excellent. When you X away PL a new city, you often look around. We looked around the old town all afternoon. Or she looked around the museum. Try it. Let's look around the market. Perfect. And if something catches your attention, you may check out a place. We checked out a new restaurant in town. Or they checked out the famous temple. Repeat with me. I want to check out the local shops. Wonderful. Sometimes you set out on an adventure. It's similar to set off, but often means with a purpose. He set out to climb the mountain. Or they set out to explore the desert. Try this. We set out to discover new places. Great. While traveling, you may run into people unexpectedly. I ran into an old friend abroad. Or she ran into tourists from her hometown. Repeat. We ran into a kind guide who helped us. Excellent. Another useful one is get by. It means to manage or survive with what you have. I can get by with basic Spanish when I travel to Spain. Or they got by with very little money. Try it. We got by using simple English phrases. Perfect. Now, let's imagine you're experiencing a new culture. Sometimes you want to take in the sights. We took in the beautiful view from the top of the hill. Or she took in the atmosphere of the festival. Repeat after me. We took in the sunset by the beach. Wonderful. And you might try out local food. We tried out a new dish at the market. Or they tried out traditional dances. Practice. I tried out new flavors on my trip. Excellent. Sometimes things go wrong and you have to deal with problems. We had to deal with a flight delay, or she dealt with lost luggage at the airport. Repeat. I dealt with heavy traffic during my trip. Very good. Let's add a few more for adventure stories. Set up a tent. We set up our tent by the river. Or they set up camp in the forest. Repeat. Perfect. Head back. That means to return. We headed back to the hotel after dinner. Or she headed back home after her trip. Try it. We'll head back later tonight. Excellent. Now a quick mini dialogue. Where did you head for on your holiday? We set off early and stopped over in Rome. That's great. Did you check out the local market? Yes, we looked around, tried out new dishes, and took in the atmosphere. Did you hear how real and vivid that conversation sounded? Phrasal verbs turn simple stories into lively travel experiences. Here are 2 more useful ones. Look back on. That means to remember with reflection. She looked back on her trip with joy. Or He looked back on his adventures with pride. Repeat, I look back on my travels happily. Perfect. And carry on. That means to continue even during a journey. We carried on walking despite the rain, or they carried on exploring even when they were tired. Try it. We carried on until we reached the top of the hill. Excellent. These phrasal verbs will help you share travel stories, describe cultural experiences, and make your English sound more engaging and alive. Work and study are big parts of life, and phrasal verbs are used constantly in offices, classrooms, and conversations about goals. Let's explore some of the most useful ones together. One of the most common is hand in. This is what you do with homework or assignments. I handed in my essay yesterday. Or she handed in her report on time. Repeat with me. Please hand in your work before Friday. Excellent. Another important one is handout. Teachers or managers often hand out papers or materials. The teacher handed out worksheets. Or he handed out flyers on the street. Try it. They handed out forms at the office. Good. Now let's look at go over. This means to review something carefully. We went over the sun in class. Or she went over the details before signing the contract. Repeat after me. Let's go over the project together. Wonderful. Sometimes you need to look into something that means to investigate or research. The company is looking into new opportunities, or she looked into the history of the subject. Practice. I'll look into this problem later. Excellent. Another key phrase is set up. In work and study, you often set up meetings, projects, or systems. They set up a meeting for Monday, or she set up the experiment in the lab. Repeat. We need to set up a plan for success. Perfect. Now, let's talk about achieving goals. You might need to follow through. That means to complete what you promised. He followed through with his plan, or she followed through on her commitment. Try it. I always follow through with my tasks. Very good. Sometimes you also carry out a plan. The team carried out the project successfully, or she carried out research for her thesis. Repeat with me. They carried out their duties well. Excellent. Now imagine you're trying to improve. You may keep up your performance. She keeps up with the latest trends in her field. Or he worked hard to keep up with the class. Try it. I need to keep up with my goals. Wonderful. On the other hand, sometimes you fall behind. She fell behind in her studies, or he fell behind on his deadlines. Repeat. I don't want to fall behind in my work. Perfect. And when you recover, you can catch up. She caught up on her reading, or he caught up with the team after being sick. Practice with me. I'll catch up on my assignments tonight. Excellent. Now, let's add some phrasal verbs about challenges. You may need to deal with pressure. He dealt with the stress of exams. Or she deals with customers every day. Repeat. We have to deal with many problems. Very good. Or sometimes you have to sort out confusion. I sorted out the issues in the project, or she sorted out the misunderstanding with her boss. Try it. We need to sort out our priorities. Perfect. Here's a little practice dialogue using these phrasal verbs. Did you hand in your report? Yes, I handed it in yesterday, but I still need to go over the details with my manager. Good. We should set up a meeting to sort out the next steps. Agreed. We have to follow through if we want to carry out the plan successfully. Do you notice how smooth that sounds? Phrasal verbs make professional and academic English much more natural and precise. Finally, let's add 2 more advanced ones. Map out. This means to plan carefully. We mapped out the strategy for the year. Or, she mapped out her study schedule. Repeat. I mapped out my goals for the future. Excellent. And stick to this means to continue with your plan without changing. She stuck to her decision, or he stuck to his study plan. Try it. I want to stick to my learning routine. Perfect. These phrasal verbs help you sound more professional, organized, and confident when talking about work, study, and goals. Conflict is a natural part of life. Sometimes at work, sometimes in friendships, and even within families. What matters most is how we talk about it and how we work through it. English phrasal verbs make these conversations sound realistic and fluent. One of the most important ones is speak up. It means to express yourself openly. She spoke up during the meeting, or he spoke up to defend his opinion. Repeat after me. I want to speak up more in class. Excellent. Now think about arguments. People sometimes shout at each other. He shouted at his brother in anger. Or the coach shouted at the players. Try it. Please don't shout at me. Good. When you disagree, you may fall out. We practiced this before, but let's repeat. They fell out after a big argument. Or, I don't want to fall out with my friend. Repeat with me. We fell out, but later we made up. Wonderful. And yes, makeup is another useful one here. They made up after their disagreement. Or, we need to make up and move forward. Try this. She made up with her sister after the fight. Perfect. In conflict situations, people sometimes back down. That means they stop insisting. He backed down after realizing he was wrong. Or she never backs down easily. Repeat. I won't back down this time. Excellent. Now let's focus on teamwork and negotiation. One important phrasal verb is come up with. It means to suggest or create an idea. She came up with a brilliant solution. Or we need to come up with a new plan. Repeat after me. Can you come up with an idea? Very good. Another is workout. We've practiced this before, but in negotiation, it means to reach an agreement. They worked out a deal after long talks, or we finally worked out a compromise. Try this. Let's work out a solution together. Excellent. Sometimes we talk over problems. They talked over the issue calmly, or I need to talk over my plans with my parents. Repeat with me. Let's talk over the situation tonight. Perfect. And when teams disagree, they may need to sort out conflicts. We sorted out the misunderstanding, or the manager sorted out the argument between employees. Practice. Let's sort out the problem peacefully. Excellent. Now think about teamwork. A strong team will pull together. That means to work as one. We pulled together to finish the project on time. Or everyone pulled together during the crisis. Repeat. Let's pull together and succeed. Great. Another key phrase is back up. It means to support someone. He backed up his colleague during tea presentation, or she always backs me up when I need help. Try it. Thanks for backing me up. Excellent. Now, let's practice a short dialogue. We had a disagreement, but we talked it over and worked it out. That's good. It shows your team knows how to pull together. Yes, my friend backed me up and we came up with a better idea. Great. So, nobody had to shout or fall out in the end. See how natural that sounds? Phrasal verbs give conflict, and teamwork conversations rhythm and clarity. Here are two more advanced ones. Iron out. It means to resolve small details. We ironed out the differences before signing the contract, or they are ironing out the last problems. Repeat. Let's iron out the details. Excellent. And stand up for. This means to defend or support someone's rights. She stood up for her friend during the debate, or he stood up for himself at work. Try it. I want to stand up for what's right. Perfect. With these phrasal verbs, you'll sound confident, clear, and natural when dealing with conflict, negotiation, or teamwork. Home life is full of small tasks, repairs, and responsibilities. And of course, phrasal verbs are everywhere when you describe them. Let's go through some together. One very common one is clean up. We cleaned up the kitchen after dinner. Or, she cleaned up her room before guests arrived. Repeat after me. I need to clean up my desk. Excellent. Another is tidy up. Similar to clean up, but often used for organizing. He tidied up the living room, or she tidied up her closet. Try it. I tidied up my workspace yesterday. Wonderful. Now, let's talk about repairs. Sometimes things break down. Our washing machine broke down last night, or the car broke down on the way to work. Repeat with me. My laptop broke down suddenly. Perfect. When that happens, you might need to fix up something. He fixed up the old bike, or she fixed up her house before selling it. Practice. I pee my chair with some glue. Excellent. If something cannot be fixed, you may throw out or throw away the broken item. I threw out my old shoes, or she threw away the broken lamp. Try this. They threw out the trash. Very good. Sometimes you set up new things in the house. We set up the new TV yesterday. Or he set up a small office at home. Repeat after me. I set up the Wi-Fi router. Excellent. Now imagine cooking. You might heat up leftovers. She heated up the soup for lunch. Or I heated up some pizza in the microwave. Try it. I heated up my dinner quickly. Perfect. And after meals, you usually wash up. In American English, this often means to wash the dishes. He washed up after breakfast. Or they washed up the cups and plates. Repeat. I washed up before leaving the kitchen. Wonderful. Let's also practice stock up on. This means to buy a lot of something to store. We stocked up on groceries for the week. Or she stocked up on bottled water before the storm. Try this. I need to stock up on snacks. Excellent. Another helpful one is run out of. We saw it before, but it's very common at home. We ran out of milk this morning. Or she ran out of sugar while baking. Repeat with me. We ran out of coffee yesterday. Perfect. Now, let's put these into a short household dialogue. We ran out of bread. Don't worry. I stocked up on some yesterday. Good. I'll heat up the soup while you tidy up the kitchen. Perfect. After that, we can set up the new shelves. See how natural and real that sounds? These are exactly the phrases you'll hear in homes every day. Here are a few more useful ones. Take out. This usually means to remove trash. He took out the garbage in the evening. Or she took out the recycling. Try it. I need to take out the trash later. Excellent. And drop in. It means to visit casually, often at someone's home. My friend dropped in for coffee. Or she dropped in without calling. Repeat after me. They dropped in yesterday evening. Wonderful. By practicing these phrasal verbs, you'll be able to talk about household chores, repairs, and daily responsibilities in a way that feels completely natural in English. Talking about the future is something we all do, whether it's setting goals, chasing dreams, or planning the next step in life. And phrasal verbs give us powerful, natural ways to express these ideas. Let's explore them together. One of the most common is set out. It means to begin working toward a goal. She set out to become a doctor, or they set out to start their own business. Repeat after me. I set out to improve my English fluency. Excellent. Another is work toward. This means to make progress step by step. He is working toward his degree. Or she worked toward her dream job for years. Try it. I am working toward better communication skills. Perfect. Sometimes you need to map out your plans. They mapped out a 5-year strategy. Or she mapped out her travel itinerary. Repeat with me. I mapped out my study schedule. Very good. When chasing goals, you often have to stick to your plan. He stuck to his diet for 6 months. Or she stuck to her routine and improved a lot. Practice. I want to stick to my English practice every day. Wonderful. Now, let's talk about success. Sometimes people carry on despite difficulties. She carried on with her studies even when she was tired, or they carried on working until midnight. Repeat. I'll carry on learning until I reach fluency. Excellent. Another powerful phrase is pull through. It means to survive or succeed after hardship. He pulled through a very difficult time in his life, or the team pulled through despite many challenges. Try it. I pulled through the exam with confidence. Perfect. Sometimes when you achieve something impressive, we say you pull off a success. She pulled off a brilliant performance, or they pulled off a major victory. Repeat with me. He pulled off the presentation smoothly. Excellent. Now think about setbacks. Sometimes you fall behind. She fell behind in her training, or he fell behind in class. But with effort, you can catch up. He caught up with the others quickly, or I need to catch up on my goals this week. Repeat both with me. I don't want to fall behind. I want to catch up. Wonderful. When future plans are flexible, you might play around with ideas. They played around with new designs before choosing one. Or she played around with recipes in the kitchen. Try this. I like to play around with new study methods. Perfect. Now, let's connect this into a practice dialogue. What are your goals for this year? I set out to learn more English and mapped out a daily routine. That's great. You just need to stick to it and carry on even when it's hard. Yes. I believe I can pull through and pull off better results by summer. Did you hear how natural that sounded? Phrasal verbs make your conversations about success and plans motivating and clear. Here are two more advanced ones. Lay out. This means to present a plan clearly. She laid out her vision for the company. Or he laid out the steps for success. Repeat. I'll lay out my study goals tomorrow. Excellent. And aim for, it means to target something. He is aiming for promotion at work, or she is aiming for higher scores on her test. Try it. I am aiming for fluency in English. Perfect. With these phrasal verbs, you'll not only talk about your goals clearly, but also inspire others with your vision and determination. Now that we've explored so many phrasal verbs together, it's time to reflect and review. Reflection itself is a very natural part of learning. One of the most common is look back on. She looked back on her childhood with happiness, or he looked back on his achievements with pride. Repeat with me. I look back on my progress in English and feel proud. Excellent. Another useful one is sum up. This means to review briefly. The teacher summed up the lesson at the end, or he summed up the main points in one sentence. Try it. Can you sum up the story for me? Perfect. When we want to continue improving, we often go over what we've learned. We went over the answers in class, or she went over her notes before the test. Repeat after me. I need to go over today's phrasal verbs again. Excellent. Sometimes you also brush up on knowledge. That means to review and improve something you already know. She brushed up on her grammar before the exam, Or he brushed up on his Spanish before traveling. Try it. I want to brush up on my English skills. Wonderful. Another very helpful one is look ahead. This means to think about the future. She's looking ahead to new opportunities. Or he always looks ahead with optimism. Repeat with me. I'm looking ahead to my next stage in English learning. Excellent. Now, let's tie these ideas into a motivational reflection. When I look back on my journey with English, I can sum up my progress in one word: growth. Every time I went over my mistakes, I brushed up on my skills and moved forward. And now I'm looking ahead with confidence. Did you hear how natural and inspiring that sounded? You can use phrasal verbs not just for daily actions, but also for life reflections. Here are a few more to strengthen your motivation. Keep up. It means to continue doing well. Keep up the good work in your studies. Or she kept up her practice every day. Repeat. I want to keep up my English practice. Excellent. Carry on. We practiced it before, but let's end with it. Carry on working toward your dreams. Or they carried on even when things got tough. Try it now. I'll carry on learning English until I'm fluent. Perfect. And one last phrasal verb, never give up. This is the most powerful reminder. She never gave up and she succeeded. Or he never gives up on his goals. Repeat after me. I will never give up on learning English. Wonderful. So let's bring this master class to a close. You've learned phrasal verbs for daily routines, travel, work, relationships, emotions, health, hobbies, and goals. You've practiced them in real life contexts, repeated them aloud, and imagined them in dialogues. Step by step, you've built your fluency. Remember, fluency is not about speed. It's about practice, patience, and consistency. Brush up on what you've learned, go over your notes, and keep using these phrasal verbs every single day. If you stick to your practice, you will break through your limits and sound more natural than ever before. I'm so proud of the effort you've made today. Keep up your practice, carry on with your journey, and never give up. You are capable of achieving fluency, and with every step you're getting closer. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Learnify English and press the bell icon so you never miss a new lesson that will help you grow your skills. Thank you for learning with me. This has been Emily guiding you through essential phrasal verbs for daily conversations and advanced English fluency. Until next time, keep practicing, keep believing, and keep shining in your English journey.